Hi guys, it's Brandon here, and on today's show, we are going to meet Miss Sandy Davis with the Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation. Yes, I know it's a mouthful. However, the mission that they are on and the changes that they are making, they are attracting, retaining, and growing sustainable businesses in the Myrtle Beach area. They are supporting local graduates and boosting our infrastructure. They are recruiting. They are doing so much to ensure that Myrtle Beach, South Carolina reaches its full potential and its destiny. And I am so thankful that I got to sit with Miss Sandy Davis and learn about how they're shaping and molding the culture and the history of Myrtle Beach. Well, I don't want to hold us up, guys. Let's get into the video now. You'd like to invest in commercial real estate. I'd like to show you how these properties make profit and break down all their expenses so you understand how they operate, how they appreciate over time, and how this will impact your taxes. I'd also like to let you know the property's cap rate and how it compares with similar properties in the market, how the location best services its users, and the potential for future growth. I'd like to fill you in on the historical and future occupancy trends, as well as potential management structures affecting the investment. And we won't miss the investment's risk profile nor the best exit strategies. Yes, we'll cover the condition of the property, any value add potential and repositioning, but we'll also dive into special topics like customer base, market positioning, and marketing and booking strategies when it applies. And if you stay tuned until the end, I'll show you my top picks for the best commercial real estate deals that have generated the most annual profits, have the highest appreciation, and the best tax implications. So no matter if you're a first-time investor or a seasoned professional transitioning into the real estate game, or perhaps simply a casual investor looking to relocate to the beach to live, play, and invest so that the passive income can support you in your retirement years. Whether you have 20% to pay down because you're financing or you're a cash buyer, if it's a commercial real estate investment that you're after, you'll be better because I'm aiming to give you a 10 times return on your time for watching my videos until the end. All right, Sandy, so talk to me about the key industries that the MBREDC is focusing on for growth. And how do these sectors present opportunities for institutional investors?
So one of our main goals is light to heavy manufacturing. So we have the advanced manufacturing facility across the street that Georgetown Technical College has, and we work to put all of the welders and the CNC workers to a job that would pay them well here in our area. That would be first. Then we also focus on boat building. It's one of our new programs at Georgetown Technical College.
Wow.
Yes, always a lot of investment for those boat builders. So I will be in Miami next week at the Miami Boat Show recruiting boat builders. We have some big yacht builders. Yes, it'll be a great opportunity. And then, of course, we still have distribution technology, like the recent announcement of the subsea cable with Google and Meta. And so we look for people to support that kind of technology that is lying on the ocean floor, especially if you are on the end point of where those cables are. So that has been
we are.
Yes, exactly.
Right
so
here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
First one in South Carolina.
Come on.
And then, of course, the aviation. We will continue to try to recruit for the ITAP park located in Market.
And I was going to ask you about that. So, I mean, are we thinking like incubator type technologies companies? Is that what we're thinking?
We do think of some of that. We have the Emerge that is the HTC Aspire Hub located down in Myrtle Beach within the city. But we kind of want them to grow in the hub.
That's right.
And then
which brings the benefit to that area.
Exactly right. And then become a bigger business that needs a building to locate within ITAP.
That sounds like a wonderful plan. So you guys got your hand on that pulse. Mm-hmm. All right. So would you say that the industries that the MBR EDC is focused on are industries that have stable demand in our local market?
Yes. So in order for us to consider a company, they have to already have, we're going to be hiring at least 35 employees.
Okay.
That's our minimum over 5 years, and a capital investment of at least $2.5 million.
Okay.
Then the average wage also has to be the county average wage, which is currently around $21.60 an hour, and they have to offer health benefits and retirement.
So basically, we are building our local economy,
Yes.
and making sure that dollars are staying here rather than going elsewhere.
That is correct. And whenever I started, and I told you this while ago about industries, also to throw this out, when I came to the MBREDC, that average hour wage in Horry County was about $11.
Oh man, get out! And that was how many years?
That was 14 years ago.
Wow, that's a nice jump. So now, for comparison purposes, let's say we've got people that are out of Florida or New York or wherever. I mean, how do we stack up there on that dollar rate? I mean,
we're still below.
Okay.
Most Georgia, Florida, they're all below us, and we're different in our county than other counties in South Carolina. So we're a lot lower than some of our neighboring counties, and then we are also a little higher than some of our neighboring counties. Okay. So it just depends on the amenities and what the companies are looking for.
Exactly.
Where they fit the best.
So
and that's our job.
So what you're saying, or at least what I'm hearing, is even though the income might not be as high as some other places that you could choose from in South Carolina or other states, they are getting the added benefit of the lifestyle here, exposure to be at the beach, working at the beach, which is a huge quality of life increase that a lot of other places just don't have.
Great place to live, work, and play.
Right, come on now. All right, now, so how does the MBREDC collaborate with institutional investors for the large-scale commercial projects in Horry County?
I'm going to give you a great example, and this is why it is so important to have investors who are doing their research and finding great areas, and how it is such a wonderful partnership for our organization, our county, and also the investor.
Okay.
We had a private investor come to us. He had purchased some land on Water Tower Road, which is now known as the Palmetto Coast Industrial Park.
That's cool.
He agreed to build 4 buildings at that time, and the permitting for the park had been master planned. It had already gone through. The first building was under construction. Had it not been for that investor, we would have not landed Pepsi. Pepsi Bottling Ventures was
wow.
They were landlocked in Conway,
wow.
and they were looking to leave to go to North Carolina.
Wow. So ultimately, you're saying that if our people step up, they could change the history, of what's happening here.
That's exactly.
There's
right.
a lot of personal responsibility to be had in that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And in addition to that, for that same investor, before he completed Pepsi, he began to start his second building, and that's how we landed Amazon.
Come on. And it's so, basically, a lot of our future is sitting right here at our doorstep.
That's correct.
It just takes the right person to get connected with the right group, and all of a sudden you guys are that oil that makes it flow and that glue that makes that deal stick. Wow. Okay, so now, do you guys, just to get a little bit more granular, do you guys provide like market insights, site selection assistance, maybe introduction to local officials to get things done? Where does all that kind of fit into this process?
We do. We offer all of the above. So since we handle the entire county, we work with both the county and the municipalities to help permitting issues. We move it through zoning. We can even represent you at zoning if you're going for industrial or distribution. In addition to that, we also help with, if it's going to change, if we need different setbacks, if we have a certain company that's already looking, we introduce you to companies once we know that what size buildings you're looking to build, or that you have the land zoned and you have all of the due diligence completed so that the projects can move forward quickly. Usually a lot of the businesses do like to lease, so that is when we need these investors to come in and make it a little easier for the companies so that we can recruit. So anything that we can do on our side to partner, we are happy to do.
So, and I'm going to kind of make this a little juicy here. So, is it safe to say that you guys have a list that you can just kind of pick up the phone and go down CEO after CEO businesses to be able to fill these projects?
Currently on our books, we use a system that runs a report that tells us how many leads we have. Leads are pretty much just people who are calling and inquiring from us to see what we have available. And then a project is someone who actually comes in and visits and wants to see the property. We have over 300 leads in our database right now, and we're working about 38 projects.
Wow.
And I would also like to add that we do not have much inventory available at all.
Because you guys are doing a good job at your job.
Well, our area being in the top 3 fastest growing areas for over 5 years now has really, really taken a lot of our inventory.
Yeah, and can you speak to that at all? I mean, like, how has that impacted things? And I mean, I was just talking to our broker in charge about how much development has gone on here. And we know that that's going to translate to a lot, that's a labor pool. And we know it's going to translate to increased commercial projects. So, I mean, how does that leave you feeling for our future?
Really, I feel great about our future. There's a lot of infrastructure needs that we will have to do to support some of this, but with the new passing of RIDE that just went through, I think that will really help us move forward.
That's the RIDE for highway?
Roads. Yes.
Yeah.
On a lot of our roads. That's a 25-year commitment that our county made. A lot of the voters, you can tell, knew that it was needed.
Yeah.
Our area has grown so fast. There's no county that would be able to do that by themselves alone. So we definitely needed a way to make it better for all of us, especially if you have traveled 22 and 31. Those roads are interstate quality.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had a company,
for sure.
I had a company that we recruited from Connecticut. He said he would not locate in Horry County because we didn't have an interstate. I went to visit him in Connecticut. He was like, okay, I'm just going to come give it a try.
Okay.
He came and he was like, you don't need an interstate. I can get here quicker. I live 5 minutes from work now, and it takes me longer with our interstate than it does here. So, I mean, I know our roads are difficult, especially 501, which is where he located.
Come on.
But, I mean, with the amount of tourism and people that we see here, you're going to have a little congestion sometimes.
Yeah, and it is seasonal, so it's not
right.
it's not all the time. Like it's only a few months out. It's only 6 months out the year.
You didn't have to sit in traffic.
No, I mean our traffic is nothing compared to what people are seeing in large cities. That's right. It's just not even Charleston. I mean, anyways, but now walk me through how you guys assess and mitigate risk associated with these large commercial investments. Like, are we talking, impact studies, market research, infrastructure assessments? Like, how in depth do you guys get to make the deal stick? Like how much work are y'all putting on your side of the fence to get these deals off the ground?
So usually, whenever a private investor comes in and they're going to build an industrial park, we will help them as far as partnerships on who will do the mitigation, who will do the environmental studies for them, anything that we already have on any of the properties. That's one thing about being engaged with the county and the municipalities. If it's a large tract of land that they are looking at, typically someone already knows about that property.
No doubt.
So that is what we can usually do. We make those calls, find out that information, and provide it to the person who's looking to purchase.
Wow. We
also provide them information on, hey, for our market study, this is what we're seeing. I have this many companies that are looking for 100,000 square foot, this many people that are looking above 500,000 square feet, this many people for 30,000.
Yeah.
I provide them those numbers so they can decide what they would want to do with their investment.
No doubt. Wonderful. So talk to me just a little bit about the infrastructure developments in Myrtle Beach that just create a lot of attractiveness for institutional investors. Why would a pension fund want to invest in a project here? Why would a hedge fund want to invest in a project here? Like, what is our unique competitive advantage compared to some of these other markets that they could choose from?
First, I would say is the cost of living. Even though we're not Charleston and we're not New York City, we have a lot to offer. People like it here. We have a lot of people who travel back and forth. So if you are in New York and you do business in Florida, we're in the middle.
Yeah.
So this is a great place that many people locate. I have many people who have homes in Florida and New York and think this is the best place for their business because it's in the middle.
Wow.
So that's one of our things. Definitely low cost of living, low cost of taxes.
Yep. Come on now.
I had a guy from Long Island that we located here, and he got his first tax bill the month after he moved here. And he called and he was like, "What? This is not cheaper. What are you doing?" He got confused where it said pay this amount by November, pay this by after January. He thought it meant that much every month.
Yeah.
He said, "That's what I pay every month in New York."
That's
and
wild,
I was
right?
like, "No, it's once a year."
I hear those same things.
Yes.
They're always like, "Is this per month or per?" And I'm like, "No, this is for the year."
So that is a very attractive quality. Also, most of our people here are interested in being a part of something different than hospitality tourism.
No doubt.
And I don't mean that in a negative way, but your job when you are in high school here and when you're in college is to work in tourism.
That's it.
You waitress, you work at one of the
Restaurants,
shows.
you work at a show, you're at a hotel.
Lifeguard, yes.
Yeah.
And so when they graduate college, they don't want to be in that industry. They
they've
feel
done
like
it
now
for
they
10
want
years.
their big person job.
No.
So, I mean, I feel like that's one of the things that people go to college for. And for a long time, we did not support those jobs here.
Yeah.
So they were moving away.
Yeah.
And we all want our kids to stay here with us,
No
regardless.
doubt. Come on.
They may not, but we want them to have the opportunity.
At least have the opportunity. Exactly. Yeah. And, that kind of parlays into our next question. What role does the MBR EDC play in workforce development? And then, how does that benefit investors in terms of talent? So ultimately, it sounds to me what you're saying is the jobs that are created by a lot of these projects are so different from what's current, what the workforce has had access to for the last decade, that it's a whole lot more. These people are motivated. They're excited to come to work. It's, they're going to give it their best.
That's right. So we work closely with the Warrior Georgetown Technical College and Coastal Carolina University. Both of those presidents serve on our board. One of the newest things that I think may be very beneficial to investors is going green.
Okay.
Every company wants to know what they can do to be more green, attract more employees, and the younger generation that's coming up, it is very important to them.
Okay.
So
for sure.
That is we are on a committee that Coastal Carolina University created about sustainability. So that is something that we work closely with when recruiting both industries for employees, employers. I mean, just making that match.
Absolutely.
So that's very important to us. Also, them being on here, I will say a lot of the companies that we recruit, they may need what our talent pool that we're graduating, but we may have to tweak the program to add in something unique for their product each time.
That's super cool.
And it's really great that both.
I mean, where can you find somebody willing to do that?
Exactly. So we have some of the best people at the table for these colleges to make sure these companies are successful.
Wow. All right. So, and I know that you had mentioned this already. Talk to me about the impact of opportunity zones within Myrtle Beach and how the MBR EDC is leveraging them to attract institutional investors.
Yes. So Horry County has 5 different opportunity zones that we currently advertise. And it's just a great opportunity when you look at different industrial parks. These industrial parks can have investors come in and build buildings in them as well. This is another incentive for investors, is that the cost of this land is lower than what you're going to find out on the market.
There's no question about it.
Yes. So,
Myrtle Beach is the value buy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It really is. And if you look at the county-owned industrial parks, you're talking about land that can range from $30,000 an acre versus land around the industrial park that's not located within the park that can be anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 an acre.
Yeah.
So there are great incentives to be a part of that, even if you're with the Opportunity Fund or without the Opportunity Fund.
Yeah.
To still be a part of that. But of course, we would love to have them invest in the Opportunity Fund and utilize the Opportunity Zone.
No doubt. And it might, and again, speak with your CPA, it might be very advantageous for you to do those type of investments, depending upon where you are in your investment journey and your own personal objectives. So, what partnerships has the MBR EDC established with local government entities to kind of streamline the investment and the development process of these large-scale projects?
So one of the things that we can do is there are a lot of, when you're locating buildings of the size that we're looking at with Pepsi and Amazon, it makes it a lot easier on the developer if we can take it, and incur some of the cost for them.
No doubt.
Some of the recent things that we've been able to do are, if there's going to be a lot of traffic, like in these parks, there is another decel or excel lane. And to the company, it typically feels like, I know that I'm the cause that that's having to be there, but it doesn't really belong to me.
It's kind of like a black eye.
So since it actually is public,
yeah,
we have certain programs that we try to take that to fund that for them. We also have, once we land the project and we get someone into their building, we will start on a fee in lieu agreement to reduce their taxes, lock it in from that 10.5% to 6% tax ratio, tax rate versus the 10.5%, that's a big difference. Even though our millage is really low here, that tax rate makes a difference.
Okay.
So those are a couple of the things that I can think of recently that we have worked on. Also, impact fees, infrastructure as far as utilities getting to the facility or down the road where they buy the land. We also have programs where we help with that as well.
So if you're an investor and you've got a project and it's going to be for the welfare and it's of our local area, if it's going to be creating jobs, and then it would be more advantageous for our investors to get a hold of you guys as opposed to going at it alone.
Yes, we can save them money just being a liaison for them, making sure that we walk them through the correct process, that they are, not stumbling and taking a long road and maybe not having the correct people engaged from the beginning. So we just want to make sure that we can be a bridge and help them, because if they are willing to invest in our community, we want to make sure that they get a return on their investment.
No doubt. You're keeping their investment safe. So have you guys seen any kind of issues with local regs or zoning laws? Do you have any stories where maybe y'all got involved and kind of helped some investors make the right choice?
I would say that we can make anything work unless you have environmental issues.
Boy,
that's the one thing
guys, that's a big statement right there. You need to call her up and be like, you said it.
The environmental issues are the one thing that we can't typically work around
at all.
The time frame on that now with OCRM, which is really important. I did not realize that everyone does not deal with OCRM. So we are a coastal area, and OCRM is a 9 to 12 month process right now. So I would encourage you to make sure that's the kind of things that not everyone knows if they're not from a coastal
kind of
area.
Shed some light on that. Go a little bit more in depth so that they, go, oh wow, I definitely should have been involved with this before now.
So a lot of people think when you come here, it's, you just get your building permit and you start building, but you don't. You have to submit an application that goes through South Carolina DHEC that kind of makes sure that the land that you're building on is sustainable for what you're trying to build.
Yep.
So you submit an application, and it used to take 3 to 6 months, but due to the amount of development along coastal areas, it has increased pretty much from 9 to 12 month period.
And you want to get a jump on that sooner rather than later.
Yes.
And you want to make sure you're going about it the right way instead of the wrong way. You definitely want to get a hold of them. Now, I am particularly excited about this question because it falls a little bit into my lane. So, can you provide us with some insights into the commercial trends that you're seeing in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and kind of their implications for investors wanting to invest in our market?
So I see a lot of opportunity for commercial right now. One, I will say I see less, and I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anyone, a lot less interest in office space than we used to have.
Not a surprise post-COVID.
No, not a surprise. So we do have some availability for office space in the area. But I do think things have changed so much since COVID as far as not just industrial.
Okay.
Our industrial, I think, is stemmed mostly from a lot of our growth. So we need more industrial, more distribution to supply to the amount of people that we now have here. Exactly.
Yeah,
but I think on another side that I see a lot is retail.
Okay. I just want to backtrack real quick about office. would you say it might be safe to say that if there was an investor looking to make some office investments, they could probably get a bargain right now?
Yes, definitely. I definitely think you could get a much lower price than you could 3 years ago.
Absolutely. Okay, I just want to throw that out there.
Yes.
And then you were mentioning now labor pool. You know, with the explosion of people that we have had to our market now. I know that, according to the U.S. News and World Report for the last 3 years, we've been the fastest growing city out of the 150 most populated cities in the entire U.S. Mm-hmm. So obviously lots and lots of people are moving here. When lots of people move here because everybody wants to live at the beach, obviously the labor pool grows. When the labor pool grows, it's time to look at some industrial stuff going on. So would you say that now would be the time to develop industrial in our market?
I would definitely say now is the time. The need is here. I mean, I cannot find buildings as fast as I can find companies, which is totally opposite from what you used to have. Yes. Exactly. So, I mean, when I have people that are calling, and this is a great example, the election.
Okay.
So we were slow because people wanted to know what was going to happen. So people who were telling us last year, we're going to look to make a decision next year, they held out until January. And then typically January is a slow month for us.
Okay.
There's not a lot of travel in January. People are just getting back to the office. You don't hear, well, not this year. So we have been pretty much hit hard since January. We have a lot of companies, and I just had a new one today contact me that saw, oh, you're going to be at the Miami Boat Show. Can you come by and meet me? We've been looking for a new facility. And I mean, we used to have to beat on doors to get these kind of answers.
Now they're calling
and now people are calling us.
So basically, let me just kind of lay this out in my own terms here. If I were an investor and I wanted to make sure I built a property that had great demand and cash flow and profit, I don't want to say all I'd have to do, but essentially I just have to pick the phone up and call you, and you're going to be able to tell me, all right, you need to do an industrial because we have a huge need for this here, or you could do this type property, retail here, or you could do this type property, technologies for the, and you could literally line that whole deal up for me.
That is correct.
Did you just hear what she said? Investors. Her contact information is in the description below. She can line your whole deal up for you.
We would love to. It would be an honor. We have so much diversity in our county. I could give you many options to see what your specialty is. We would, of course, want your experience in whatever field that we can show you, but we definitely could provide the opportunity.
Yeah. So you were going to say something about retail. Let's hear about retail.
Yes, retail. The one thing that I want to say about retail that I've seen, we do not typically deal with retail.
Okay.
But because there has been so many changes in retail since COVID, we have helped a lot of people who have been looking just to kind of understand what we're seeing in the market. And there's a lot of opportunity for retail. I'm not just going to say new builds, but to redo a lot of the existing inventory that we currently have. It's changed. So, and I'm not going to say it was just COVID because I think it was coming along before, but COVID definitely pushed it along, is more outdoor. It has to be more outdoor. It has to be more, separated. No one wants to be inside where they can't see out.
Yep.
And I mean, we have so much of that here that there is a lot that could be refurbished to be a really great investment opportunity.
So it's safe to say that and this is just me talking with you here, it's safe to say that our market is positioned, it's poised to be able to kind of break out of as much tourism and hospitality as we've had in previous decades, and now finally kind of move into these other spaces.
That's right.
And so we're kind of at a very unique place in time.
Mm-hmm. When you have a population that has almost doubled in the past 6 years, and then you have visitors who have grown from 13 million to 21 million, we definitely have a need, and there is an appetite here for investment.
So long-term wise, what are the economic forecasts long-term that you're seeing for Horry County? And how is the MBREDC preparing to support that kind of sustained growth? Like, I know that you're helping to find it, find the investors and get all the dots together, and you're making these things happen. But with all of the explosion of growth, do you guys have some kind of mechanism in place maybe to kind of sustain what's happening?
We're working on more with the comprehensive plan for the county. What we're working on more is protecting property for industrial. That's our biggest thing right now, because we know with the amount of growth, both with investment opportunities and also residential, that some of this property could be gone and not used for industrial.
Which is, we don't want that to happen.
That's right, because in order to sustain the people and the other businesses that are going to be in our area, we will need distribution and manufacturing to locate within Horry County.
So how do you guys engage with existing industries to identify the expansion opportunities that would interest our big time investors?
So we do a couple of things. One, we meet with every single existing industry that is registered in Horry County at least once a year. So we all go out face to face, and they also complete a survey. Not everyone completes their survey, but they're all given a survey that tells us what were your hurdles this year? What are things that we can help you with? Did you have problems hiring people this year? What skills are you looking for that you haven't been able to find? And then we also ask them what suppliers are important to you.
Wow.
So if there are certain suppliers that they need, then we want to add that to our recruitment list. That wants to be something we're targeting if it's going to help support our existing industry.
Yeah, so this is not a very surface level activity.
No.
Y'all are getting in the trenches with the existing businesses and really digging deep to find out what's going on and where you can bring change.
That's exactly right.
And I'd imagine that, so now how large are you guys? Are you, 5 employees? Are you 25 employees? Like how, because like it seems like the task at hand is huge.
I would be lying if I said I slept much last year. But as of October, we have hired 2 new project managers. So the 3 of us split the travel. And also we we have 1 dedicated to existing industry now, and then Sandra and I back them up. So we have a total of 5 full-time employees.
Man, and y'all manage as much as you've done and seen as much growth and change as you have.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's hats off. Okay, so kind of walk me through upcoming. You mentioned the Ride for Highway.
Yes.
Are there any other projects that could significantly impact a commercial investment in our market? Is that it?
I think that would be the biggest one for this year that's made any changes.
Okay, and then what do you guys do? I'm assuming y'all host events and things. How do you connect institutional investors, local businesses, stakeholders? How do you get everybody together and kind of get them mingling and everybody happy?
We have events throughout the year. One of our biggest events that seem to be beneficial for that is next week. We have member to member. So usually what we have are people introducing themselves and telling each other what their needs are, what they're looking for. And that is how we usually make partnerships between everyone in the community that is interested in being a part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's talk just for a second. Let's talk about the due diligence process. What role do you guys play in that in any of these deals?
On our industrial parks, we already have all except for one.
Okay.
We already have a phase 1, a geotech. Usually all the cultural and archaeology already reports are already performed.
Gotcha.
So they're pretty much ready to go. We'd still have to go through the OCRM process if someone's looking to build. I did also want to add, you asked about anything else investors that would be beneficial to investors, is that Horry County did vote for a millage decrease. So taxes are actually going to be a little bit lower, and we were already one of the lowest in the state.
Guys, if you're looking for those tax breaks, you got it right here in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. How do you guys measure your success? I mean, like what kind of, do you have milestones in place? Kind of walk us through and, show us, how you've measured it so far.
Our capital investment and the amount of jobs created each year is usually where we go. Also, the amount of private membership, of course. So we are a public-private partnership, and our private membership is just grown to almost $400,000 a year. And then our public, of course, is a little over 1 million, but our private membership is growing. And then also on our jobs, we have announced over 1,400 jobs since I've been here. And I think our capital investment is, well, last year alone, we were over 40. And the year before that, we were over 100 million. So, I mean, just the past 2 years alone, we have been over 140 million.
So let's say someone wanted to get involved, memberships wise. How does that work?
Sandra James is our Director of Investor Relations. She's always looking to add to her members. She has at least one event every month. She is actively working all the time to create a bridge between our companies and our investors. And we also can put you on the website. And if you look on our website under our partners, you can see every partner, their email address, their phone number, their address, and what they do.
Very transparent.
Very transparent.
So, and this is just to help people get to know you a little bit better. You know, if there's one lesson that you have learned while you've been working with the MBREDC that's really hit home and that you carry with you, what's that one lesson?
Never be surprised. You never know what you're going to hear. And I mean, really, I guess this would be for anyone who works with manufacturing.
Okay.
Sometimes when people call and they say, this is what we want to come and make in your area, you never know if it is legit or it is not. But
you have to go through that full vetting process, right?
It takes a while. So I try to never let anything surprise me.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Well, guys, you've heard it right here. This is Miss Sandy Davis. She's here with the MBREDC, that is the Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation. It is a mouthful. She is the president and CEO. And if you guys have questions, you want to talk to her, her information's right in the video description below. Give her a call, send her an email, get in contact with her so that she can get you started and get you pointed in the right direction.